Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Jammal with his fantastic film, Happy Birthday. Let's take a look at the clip.
Hey, Craig. Yeah, I'm talking to you. For a limited time, we're offering you double on all of your old baggage that you've got just lying around. That's right. We're talking travel trunks, clothes, jewelry, videotapes, and just about anything else you can't stand the sight of anymore. Why don't you hear from one of our happiest customers?
Jammal, welcome to the NewFilmmakers LA family.
Thank you for having me.
We're so happy to have you. We'll never let you go. That's it now. All right.
Hey, I feel already part of the family. So.
Feel the love. Feel the love. It was so wonderful having your film at the festival last night. It just got such a rapturous applause, and you were so great at all the things that you spoke about as well. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
Happy Birthday is about a young black man basically being tormented by this red backpack that keeps reappearing in his life. And basically one day, as he's smoking, watching TV, a commercial pops on his screen and offers him a way to get rid of this bag. And it's the story of magical surrealism. And I think someone used the word that I'm not gonna use, like lo-fi sci-fi.
Ooh.
Is like kind of what we were aiming for. And you just watch this character basically figure out a way to deal with his grief and trauma.
A lo-fi sci-fi, that's really interesting. I love that. It was a really brilliant story, and it was so wonderful when you see an idea and you think, wow, I've not seen that before, especially just simulated through this character and this baggage, literally, right? Mm-hmm. For you personally, where did this kind of story unfold in your mind and your imagination, and how did that articulate to be in a film?
It started as like a series of thoughts I've had about my own trauma. I had like that summer, I wrote in the summer of 2022, mm-hmm. and I had just lost my aunt to COVID complications. And prior to that, I had lost my friend Joaquin Oliver in the shooting at Parkland, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in 2018, where I also went to high school, but I had graduated at the time that happened. And there was just all these experiences of just like loss, but also out of that loss, you know, my friends and I were able to create the organization March for Our Lives, where I was a creative director, and basically through that, I was able to go on this journey of like speaking, telling my story to other people, bridging communities. With like during my job, I had designed this shirt called the QR American Flag, which was basically an American flag, but where the stars were, I put a QR code, and I helped register 800,000 voters with that.
Wow.
So that kind of sent me on this journey of like meeting all these different people, and like every single day for a very long time, telling this story over and over again of like that loss. And as I was writing this story, I kind of sat down and was like, what are my feelings about loss, especially like at that time dealing with my aunt's loss? It was just like, it felt like this bag that I took everywhere. And as I went to more places, it became like, oh, whose bag's heavier than whose and what's in it. And obviously for me, I grew, you know, I'm a late 90s baby. So, you know, I kind of caught the last era of like VHS tapes. And I remember like, I ran my like Lion King VHS tape, like I ran it to the ground. And so it started like piecing together of like, all right, what does it mean to me? And then I had a friend who's in AA. He was like, there's this book, I forgot what it's called, but basically in the book it says that like you carry your trauma around like a backpack full of rocks. And so like as like taking all those pieces together, I started like filtering that through this character of Craig.
Jammal, that's amazing. I mean, firstly, to, you know, just thank you to you personally for taking some really, really hard, own personal traumatic experiences, turn this into, you know, a project, and then just, you know, helping and enhancing so many by able to see it. You know, it really was a powerful film, and such a brilliant analogy of symbolism with this bag, right, of this carrying this weight of trauma. It's funny, I ran my Lion King into the ground as well on my VHS tape.
Hey,
Watched it too many times.
That was the start.
So there's the start. God, that was a trauma for Simba. Jesus, that was a lot. But no, I think you know, this film just had multiple layers of importance of this film, and we'll get deeper into that. But I just want to commend, like, this story was led so well. Your cast are amazing, but I was just mesmerized by your cast. Like, I was absolutely brilliant. Like, your lead blew it out the park.
Bentley Green.
He's amazing,
yeah.
like phenomenal.
Yeah.
How do you go about bringing your cast together? Because they were tremendous.
So basically, a week after we kind of like finalized the draft, our producer Jeff Vespa, he contacted this other producer that he had worked on. They had worked on, was it the Chadwick? There's like some documentary they did together some time ago, and he had a friend, Gerard Haynes, who's also an actor. That we were like, oh, maybe this might be up your alley, Park. And he was like, I'm too old. But he had just did a show with this young guy. So this is like August of 2022, named, you know, Bentley. And at this moment, I had no clue who he was. And basically Sherm, you know, he just like had a coffee with all of us. And we were like, this is you. You are the character. He did a reading, and he really kind of like gravitated towards the script. And he carried, like, he literally, from when I wrote it, and I know movies take some time to develop, but from when I wrote it that July of 2022 to production in December of 2023, he held that character. He stayed in character that whole time and crafted that. And I think that was like such a huge part in like getting the performance that he was able to give, was just like he was able to sit in that character for so long, because obviously sometimes an actor might not have that much time to like really, you know, dissect the character and explore how they can stretch themselves. So that was that aspect. You know, thankfully enough, we were able to have Patrick J. Adams in our film, where we caught him in like a good moment where he, it was like good for us, but bad for everyone else. It was during the writer's strike, and obviously the SAG strike, so nobody was working, but we were not SAG, so we were allowed to just still shoot and work with the actors. And I think it might have just ended, or it was around the time, but I got connected to him because, you know, my producer and his kids, they just go to school together. And he read the script, and he really liked it, and he was just like, if you have me, I'll come. And then through him, I was able to get the, you know, illustrious Mr. Robert Pine. Who, you know, he's been in the business. I remember he told me his first acting credit was in like 1960 something.
Wow.
And
amazing.
And he, you know, he kind of came to me. He was just like, same as Patrick. If you have me, I'd love to do this. I love the script. And that was just me kind of learning like early on that like script is like king. Like, you know, if you have something that people gravitate or connect with, you can move mountains really as a film, especially as an independent filmmaker. So they came on board. Mr. Robert Pine, he was just like, hey, you know, I'm not a young duckling anymore, so, you know, bear with me, but I'll hit my marks. And I think that everyone did a great job. And then, you know, my girlfriend, she's behind camera, but she co-produced, costume, casting director, and also acted in the project as well. And then, you know, I think when we were looking for that part in the commercial with Patrick, I had spoken to a friend who was a casting director, and, you know, we were looking for a guy. He was just like, hey, like, I just noticed that, like, there's no women in your cast. And I was just like, you're so right. And then I was like, I know a great woman, actually. So she brought her talent, and she was so great. Obviously, outside of being my girlfriend, but she is a great talent. She worked super hard, like bringing the levity of that moment. So
multi-talented,
multi-hyphenated, as someone said last night.
And multi-hyphenated, exactly.
So so that's really how the cast came together. It was just like really a labor of love. A labor of, you know, people wanting to see this thing exist.
I can't believe it's your first film. Like, I'm like, what? Like, seriously,
Neither can I.
Wow. Because you know, it really had such a there's so much deep and depth and experience in this film. I think, you know, I actually called our program director after I watched your film because I was just spellbinded by performance. That particular like scene where, you know, Bentley's character is really quite upset, and he's in the store, and it was so moving. Like, I was just like, wow, this is a spellbinding acting performance right here, and because the stakes are high, and we don't often see the perspective of a young man, of a young Black American man as well, experiencing their trauma on a screen. And I think that was another important angle which we spoke about last night. For you as a writer, as a director, in articulating this story, like, how was it experienced? What was your process in directing this? Because, the stakes were high in these traumas, and this also comes from your own personal experience as well.
I think really what it was just like feeling, first off, it was totally the crew that gave me the space to feel confident and to feel safe to do what I was doing. So I first off, I have to like give credit to them, because it is overwhelming where it's like, I remember being on set, and then like, I've, PA'd a lot, and you get to set one day and like everyone's looking at you and like, all right, like what's the first, shot of the day, and who's in this scene, and what do we need? Do we have it? We have to move on, or it's just, so like for me, like my crew made me feel confident to be able to like really work with Bentley. And I think it was just a lot of like me and him building a rapport together, to be able to command that, because we, as like on set, wanted him to feel safe enough to bring that performance. Yeah. And I just, I don't want to give, all of his sauce away, but there's a particular song where he was just like, I remember he didn't have his phone on him, and he was like, fine, give me your phone and play this song for me. And I just remember like having the phone up to his ear, playing the song, and like immediately brought him to the place that he needed to be in that scene. So it was just like really building that relationship with him and giving him the space to like feel, because I think a lot of what was going on, and it was just like him taking on obviously like what I've told him inspired this story, but also mending that with his own experiences and his own kind of connection with that. So it was like kind of a cathartic feeling moment for both of us. Yeah. So that was also something you're seeing, like me like experience that through him also being able to like express himself. So that moment was really built on like the safeness of our set, and the confidence that I was instilled with from our crew and our producers, and also the confidence of him to like trust me enough to be like, because like there was moments where it's just like, you have someone who's never directed something before. It's an ambitious kind of idea, and there is a feeling of like, oh, can this person pull this off, right? But I think that scene was shot on it was the last day, and on that last day, like I think by that moment he was like, all right, you got this. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's like, I feel safe enough here. So
I think what you showed, Jammal, though, is you showed the power of vulnerability, and I kept, I'm such an observer when I was watching the audience last night and seeing them react to your film. And it's always very powerful, and you see what it kind of does to the people in the audience. And I think you really did showcase power of vulnerability, that like, maybe this film may help others, to kind of come through their own personal experiences, whether it's someone they know or something they're going through themselves. And I think that was super, super important, and just kind of brings me on to say, like, taking it from such a personal place, then making this a universal story. What did you want your audience to take from your film?
I really just wanted to offer it up as like, interpret this as you may, just because I'm just like not of the vein of like, I don't want to tell you how to feel, but I'll present something to make you feel something. Yeah. And I think that's what this film was, because it was supposed to be like more just like, you're going to watch this person explore and interact with their trauma, and hopefully that I create an experience that will make you try to confront and explore those questions. But at the same time, and I want to say this last night, because of course, like a lot of these films are like trauma centered, but like for me, like I'm like a laugh now, cry later type of person. Yeah. So like I try to find levity in a lot of these experiences, because a lot of times like things, I find a lot of irony in a lot of like what happens. So I think that's why like even in the film, outside of like the the very important and heavy topic, there is these moments of like brevity where people can like still laugh and have a moment.
Good balance.
And but so I just really wanted people to just ask the question of like, and this kind of became a question during the edit of, if you had the opportunity, would you give it up? Like, would you be willing to separate with the pain, but knowing that like once it's separated, it's gone. Like all those
Yeah.
memories, the good moments, the bad moments, like are you willing to just give that up? And I think it's just like kind of, it's this more existential question of like
Yeah.
what life is, right? Yeah. So that's really what I was kind of working on making it.
Thank you for giving us, I mean, to have, it's your first film, Jammal. It's amazing. Like, I mean, but to give us all this context, and when you can't watch your film and not go away thinking about it, it's something that sits with you, which I think is always powerful when you can do that as a filmmaker, when you've watched something that is stuck with you. And I think that's something that I think you've already done. Where are we going next? What's next? What are you bringing to us next? Make more movies, please.
Like I said, I'm really like got my eyes on grad school. I just want to continue my education, and I feel like where I'm going is worth going into debt for, just to kind of continue to grow as an artist. But I'm working on 2 features right now. 3, I was offered to direct a feature that should be shooting hopefully in the next year or 2.
Amazing.
And then I'm doing a web series that I'll be releasing this summer.
Fantastic.
Like my pitch for it is basically it's if White Man Can't Jump met Heat by Michael Mann met Repo Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's this wacky basketball story of these 2
Amazing.
guys. Yeah.
And you working on that right now? Is that-
Yeah. So we already shot like a proof of concept, and then we're gonna do a 6-part that will hopefully be releasing this summer.
Amazing. Well, let us know so we can all engage in it. But amazing. Well, listen, wherever you take us next, we're ready for it. But
And we're going together.
We're going together. But thank you for bringing happy birthday and welcome to New Filmmakers LA family. We're so grateful to have you. So
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Jammal, everybody.